Next is the multimodal interfaces. It provides enriched user experiences by multiplying how information is experienced and detected using different modalities such as touch, sight, sound, and speech. Now, si multimodal, from the word itself, multi, it combines different forms of interfaces. Basically, multimodal interfaces could also be under multimedia. It could be a combination of different interfaces that we have previously discussed. So, if your interfaces or the device that you are using supports touch, sight, sound, and speech, then that is an example of a multimodal interface. Example of that would be our very own smartphone. That is under multimodal interfaces. Multimodal interfaces also are devices that has multi-sensor that can sense the eye gaze, facial expression, and lip movement. Now, for example, tracking a person's movement, that is an example of multimodal interaction. Shareable interfaces, it refers to interfaces that provides multiple inputs and sometimes allows simultaneous input by co-located groups. And a great example of shareable interfaces would be Zoom and Gmeet. Kasi sa Zoom, meron tayo tinatawag na whiteboard. Pwede naman din mag-annotate si instructor. Meron ding option kay Zoom if you're aware na pag premium, usually pag premium user ka, pwede kang magkaroon ng multiple host, pwede kang magkaroon ng chats, and then pwede ding makontrol ni participant yung window ni host ng Zoom meeting. So, yun yung tinatawag nating shareable interfaces. It allows the use or interactive parang communication. We have usually large wall displays where people use their own pens or gestures, interactive tabletops where small groups interact, for example, Diamond Touch, Smart Table, and Surface. So this is an example of an smartboard and an interactive tabletop. So benefits provide a large interactional space that can support flexible group working, can be used by multiple users, and can be point to and touch information being displayed. Simultaneous view the interactions and have the same shared point of reference as others. It could also support more equitable participation compared with groups using single PC. So, research and design considerations. Core design concerns include whether size, orientation, and shape of the display has an effect on collaboration. So, basically, you already know what are the design considerations to look into shareable interfaces. It must provide interactive experiences for both people na nag-access ng interface or device na yon. Tangible interfaces, ito naman yung mga type of sensor-based interaction where physical objects, for example, bricks, are coupled with digital representations. When a person manipulates the physical object, it causes a digital effect to occur. For example, the animation. Digital effects can take place in a number of media and places, or they can be embedded in a physical object. So what are tangible interfaces? First, let us discuss what is tangible. The word tangible pertains to any type of interface that can be touched or physically touched. So, examples of tangible interfaces, we have MagicCubes, FlowBlocks, and URP. So, learning to code and create with tangible MagicCubes. So, this is what a MagicCube looks like. Ayan. So, the benefits of having tangible interfaces, it can be held in one or both hands and combined and manipulated in ways not possible using other interfaces. It allows for more than one person to explore the interface together. People are able to see and understand the situation kasi nahahawakan yung nakikita mo. Not just a virtual or augmented representation of an object, but it has a physical representation. So, that's the good thing about tangible interfaces. So, also, we have the VoxBox, a tangible system that gathers opinions at events through playful, engaging interaction. So, para lang tong yung mga nabibili natin sa Shopee na cue card. Pero, ang pinagkaiba lang ni VoxBox is, interactive siya, kagaya nito. So, augmented reality, I have previously brushed about the explanation about augmented reality versus virtual reality. So, augmented reality, it combines the physical world and the virtual world. Example of that is Pokemon Go. So, also, augmented reality, many applications including medicine, navigation, air traffic control, games, and everyday exploring makes use of this type of technology or interface. So, other examples, ma'am, what are the other ways that we could use or make use of augmented reality? In the medicine field, we have virtual objects. For example, x-rays and scans are overlaid on part of the patient's body, aid physicians' understanding of what is being examined or operated. That is under augmented reality. In traffic control, we have dynamic information about aircraft overlaid on a video screen showing the real planes and so on landing, taking off, and taxiing. It helps identify planes difficult to make out. So, augmented reality overlay on a car windshield. Ayan. So, that is an example of that. Okay, we also can use augmented reality for trying on makeup like this one. Ayan. So, okay, wearables, examples of wearables na interfaces were something that you could wear with your eyewear or you could wear in your wrist, head, ayan, jewelry. So, those are examples of wearables. Pero the twist about wearable interfaces is that they are interactive. Example would be a smartwatch. That is a form of wearable interfaces in which you could do or perform various tasks using that small wearable devices such as a smartwatch on your wrist. Applications include automatic diaries like tour guides, cycle indicators, fashion clothing, ayan. So, Google Glass is an example of a wearable. Okay, the thing about wearables, you must consider the comfort, hygiene, ease of wear, and usability. Since it is wearable, is it possible to wash or clean the clothing once worn? Or if it is a smartwatch, how do we disinfect it? Especially, hygiene is very important nowadays, lalo na dito sa pandemic that we are in. We must know how to properly disinfect our materials and not just the things that we use na like clothes or slippers or shoes. We also must have ways to disinfect our smartphone or electronic devices and appliances na hindi siya masisira. So, yung mga dapat natin i-consider doon. So, ease of wear, madali ba siyang gamitin? Komportable ba siyang isuot? So, robots, we are familiar with robots for the longest time. So, ngayon, we have vector robots, which is a type of social pet robot. Ayan, so we have domestic robots for helping around the house that can pick objects and do daily chores. So, meron na like vacuuming. Ayan, that is an example of domestic robots. We have pet robots as human companions. Example is si Vector. We have sociable robots that works collaboratively with humans. Ayan. So, social robots, we have cute and cuddly one like Mel and Paro, can open and close eyes and make sounds and movements. So, drones are unmanned aircrafts that are controlled remotely and used in a number of contexts. So, pwede na, you already know what is the drones, napapanood nyo yan sa YouTube or if you own one, ayan. So, this is an example of one of the drones. Ayan, a drone being used to survey the state of a vineyard. Drones are not used for video edits. Ayan, to make it look good. We also use it for monitoring. Okay, brain-computer interfaces. Ayan, so this one is usually used for people with disabilities. So, brain-computer interfaces provide communication pathway between a person's brain waves and external device such as a cursor on the screen. Person is trained to concentrate on the task, for example, moving the cursor. BCIs work through detecting changes in the neural functioning in the brain. So BCI apps are games, for example, Brain Ball, enable people who are paralyzed to control robots. So class, another good thing about interfaces is some of the interfaces like brain-computer interfaces could be used to help people with disabilities, especially people who are paralyzed, to have a second chance at life. So they could live as much as possible parang normal. They could still access the apps that we have. They could enjoy the technology that we are having. Ayan, that is an example of a BCI type of interface used by a paralyzed person to select letters on the screen. Smart interfaces, we have phones, speakers, watches, cars, buildings, and sites. Ayan. So, we're on the last part of our topic. So, which interface is preferable to use? Now, we have to consider the cost, the task, the users that would use your interface. So, it depends on those factors. Is multimedia better than tangible interfaces for learning? Well, class, we can incorporate it both. Pero depending on your budget and the setting that you have. Usually, multimedia is preferable to use in lectures like for certain subjects in a educational setting. And meron naman na kailangan ng tangible interfaces for learning. For example, if laboratory-based yung inyong subject. Is speech as effective as command-based interfaces? Well, based from my personal observation, yes, it is. So, nakakapag-keep up na yung speech recognition systems natin. So, is multimodal interface more effective than a monomodal interface? So, to be honest, I prefer a multimodal interface because it is presented with different forms of functionalities or different ways that we could access a particular application or device. Another question, will wearable interfaces be better than mobile interfaces for helping people find information in foreign cities? Well, for now, I still prefer mobile or smartphone interfaces over wearable interfaces. Pero we'll see. Kasi habang tumatagal, every year nagkakaroon ng bagong updates ang mga wearable devices. Plus, mas madali siya at compact dalhin. So, our virtual environments, the ultimate interface for playing games. Ayan. Mas okay na ba? Kasi sabi natin, nababawasan na daw yung parang activity natin. Mas interactive daw yung mga laro nung araw like patintero, harang taga. Will it be possible now with the virtual interface? Mas okay ba na way na maglaro or okay ba yung gaming experience pag ginagamit natin virtual reality? Well, the answer is it depends on your preference. But if you want na mas na-exercise ka or mas maraming parts ng katawan mo ang na-exercise or nag-interact dun sa game or gumagalaw, it's preferable that you choose a interactive virtual reality game. So, are shareable, and last question or dilemma, are shareable interfaces better at supporting communication and collaboration compared with using network desktop PCs? Well, it depends on the use. Pero most of the time, it is easier to use shareable interfaces like, for example, Bluetooth or the use of mga applications na madali ka makapag-share ng or makapag-exchange ng digital files kesa sa ine-network mo pa siya. So, mahabang process. Pero, useful pa rin naman yung network desktop PCs. Meron siyang mga particular or main usage na nga lang. So, this concludes our topic discussion for different types of interfaces.